Welcome everyone. I am Sanju Ganjir and today we will know about the rigid coupling and a type of sleeve and muff coupling.
So
So continue with
there are
me
three types of
and
rigid
please
coupling.
subscribe my
One is
channel.
sleeve, flange, or flange coupling. Okay, and uh, what is the types of flexible coupling? So there are certain kinds of flexible couplings. So that is bushed pin type. Remember the name is bushed pin type flexible coupling. Next one is universal coupling. So you uh, here you can know, I think you can know about this type of coupling, universal coupling, which connects two shafts which have angular misalignment. Okay, so this one and this one is very important. And the third one is Oldham coupling. So all this coupling are discussed here with point wise. Okay, so now we firstly start to discuss about the sleeve or muff coupling. So right now we start the discussion of sleeve, or you can say it a muff coupling. So how it seems be. So before start this, I tell it with a diagram. So this looks like this. Sleeve is nothing but a hollow cylindrical piece of a cast iron. Okay, it is a generally hollow cylinder or pipe. What is the meaning of sleeve? So firstly I draw a diagram like this. This is a sleeve and it have a internal diameter, and which is exactly same as the diameter of the shaft. Okay, and it have a keyway also. Okay, so this one is your keyway. Okay, so now this is your sleeve, and sleeve is nothing but a hollow cylinder or pipe or pipe, and it is called a muff or sleeve, and it is generally a piece of cast iron. So it is the material used for the construction of sleeve is cast iron. Okay, now here this the hollow cylinder have the same diameter. This have some kind of diameter, say d1, and if we introduce these shafts like this one here, then the diameter of this shaft is also d1, and it have a keyway. Okay, also for this side, so you not need to talk more detail about this. Okay, now it fits or it inserts here, and it have uh, holes for the bolts, because there is no looseness between the connection of the shafts. So for this reason we provide the hole, threaded holes into sleeves as well as shafts ends. So shafts, where the shafts ends, we provide a holes into the sleeve which which helps to tightly fit the shafts together. Okay, now one thing is on the mind if we manufacture the sleeve. And what is this? It is in mind that the diameter of shaft is so that it perfectly fits into the sleeve. Okay, so because all many kinds of shafts are available, then also sleeve is also easily available in the market. So for ordinary or moderate kind of power transmission or motion transmission, we can use a sleeve. Okay, so this internal diameter or this diameter of the hollow cylinder, hollow sleeve, hollow pipe is exactly same as that of the shaft. Okay, now generally two or more threaded holes are provided into sleeve as well as shaft ends. Okay, what why we use the threaded holes? Why we use the threaded holes? So we use it restricts because it restricts the longitudinal movement of the longitudinal movement of shaft and sleeve when the bolts are inserted into them. When the bolts are inserted into them. Okay, so there is some kind of longitudinal movement occurs during this type of coupling, and the threaded holes is provided because this there should be longitudinal generated longitudinal movement. Okay, and a keyway and key ensures that the shaft and sleeve don't slip. Okay, so key and keyway ensures that the shaft and sleeve don't slip. Okay, so key and keyway helps to the reaction, or it ensures there is no slip between the shaft and sleeve. Okay, now where they used, so they are widely used in shaft alignment or not required. So this is used where there is shaft alignment or not required. Shaft alignment are not required. So this is the application of sleeve and muff coupling, and again it is used for light to medium duty. Okay, now what is the proportion of sleeve coupling? So all the detail is discussed here, so continue with me. So I show you with a front view of this arrangement. So here, suppose this is your shaft, okay, like this, and this one is your center line. Now this is your shaft, and the diameter of the shaft is say D. Okay, now we have a muff or sleeve. So right now we provide it from here like this, and also we have a keyway, so we use a key. Okay, like this is a give head key. Okay, this is your give head key, and all the proportion of the application of the give head key is you can know, or you can learn with the video of with the lecture of key, and which I provide for you in the description. Okay, so this is your give head key. Now it fits the muff and shaft. Okay, so this is your muff right now. This is your muff, and so here I provide a name, I give a name. So this is a muff or sleeve. Okay, and the diameter of muff and sleeve are capital D. Okay, and the length, this is your length of the key. Okay, that's the length of the muff. Okay, length of the sleeve or muff. Okay, so this is your length. And what is the length of key? So this one is your length of key, and it is also equal to it is also equal to the length of sleeve. So L is, this is your key, and this is the name of this key is give head key. Give head because it is a head for easy removal of the key inside the shaft. Okay, so what is the relation, what is the usual proportion of this kind of coupling? So let D is your dia of the shaft. Capital D is your outside diameter of sleeve. And it is taken as 2 into D plus 13 mm. Okay, 2 into D plus 13 mm. It is a fixed value for the designing of sleeve. Okay, and the length of the muff or sleeve, and it is taken as 3.5 into D, diameter of the shaft. Okay, now when we design the sleeve and muff coupling, then or we can use the slip and muff coupling, which type of stresses occurs into the shaft and coupling. Okay, so we will discuss it here. So now we design the slip firstly. So right now the design procedure for slip and muff coupling are adopted like this. So number one is design for slip. Number one is design for slip. Okay, so as you know, slip is a hollow cylinder or a pipe. So it seems like this. This is the diameter of, this is the side view. So this is the diameter of shaft diameter, and it is D. Okay, and it is the diameter of slip or hub. Slip, we can say the slip, and it is capital D. So using these two parameters, we design for the parameters of slip here. Okay, so let capital T is equal to torque transmission, your torque transmitted. Okay, and if the couplings are provided into the shafts and the power transmission is continued and the obligation is on, then they have some kind of shear stresses occur into the flange, and it is tau c. That means the sleeve are made of cast iron. So this is your permissible shear stress. For the material of shafts. For the material of shaft. Okay, material of shafts. Okay, and it is maximum of 14 megapascal. Okay, it is of 14 megapascal. Now for the hollow shaft, power transmission is given by, for hollow shaft. So this article is already discussed in the section of, in the lecture of shaft, so you can easily learn from there. Okay, I provide the link all here again for you. Okay, so for the hollow shaft, the power transmission is given by capital T is equal to pi by 16 into tau c into d power 4 minus small d power 4 upon capital D, where D is the diameter of sleeve, outside diameter of sleeve, and small d is the diameter of shafts. Now we can break into a certain way, so it can be rewrite like this: d cube, okay, d power 4 and d, I remove it outside this, and in the bracket we have 1 minus small d upon capital D whole power 4. Okay, now it have a 3 more times, then it is pi by 16 into, it is pi by 16 into tau c into d cube in the bracket 1 minus, in the total terms is denoted by k. So k and the power is 4. What is k? K is the diameter of the ratio of the diameter of shaft to the diameter of sleeve. Okay, so using this equation we check the value of induced shear stress tau c. Let we check the value of tau c. Okay, so from using this equation we need to check the value of tau c, and if the value of tau c is greater than the permissible value which is given on the question, tau c permissible, then our design for sleeve is fail. Okay, so what next? When tau c, that means induced, is greater than the permissible value of shear stress, then there is the failure occurred, and the value of diameter of the slip, that is d, is not safe. not safe, then we can need to increase the value of D. Okay, and if it is less than this, then it is safe, no need to check it at all. Okay, so now the next design consideration is design for key. So the next one is design for key. So it is depend upon the types of key what we use. So I discuss it with the diagram. So let's start with the diagram. So we have a key like this. Okay, this is the length of key and it is represented as a small l, and this is the thickness of the key, and this one is the width. Okay, now the parameters or the proportion of the key are safe or not, so it can check here. And what is the procedure? So it is most desirable to select a key has some kind of crushing stress, that is sigma c, and some kind of shear stress, and that is tau. So by using two equation we can check the value of sigma c and tau. So it is very simple. So from the section of key, from the lecture where I tell a lot of detail about the key, you can easily learn the crushing stress and the shear stress. Okay, so here no need to talk more about this. So as we know, there is two key used, one for a shaft, single shaft, and one for the driving shaft, and one for is the driven shaft. So the total one half of the shaft, the length of the key is L by 2, that is 3.5 into D by 2. Remember it. Okay, 3.5 D by 2, because the value of the length of curve is 3.5 into D for the slip coupling. Okay, and now if we can say that the key here seems like a rectangular key, so it is a rectangular key. So the usual proportion for rectangular key is the width of the key is taken as D by 4, remember, and the thickness of the key is taken as D by 6, and that is equal to 2W by 3. Okay, so put the value of W here, you have the value like D by 6. Okay, so this is the value of width and thickness. Now we need to check the value of sigma c and t, and what is the expression, what is the equation for this kind of stresses. So the next one is considering, as already tell about that there is two kind of stresses occur. The one is crushing stress and the second is shearing stress. Now if we consider the shearing of key, considering shearing of key, and the equation of, so considering shearing of key, and the equation for this is torque transmission T is given by length into W into tau into small d by 2. Okay, that expression is completely discussed into the article of key. Okay, so this is the equation, and from here we can check the value of tau. So from this equation we check the value of induced shear stress, and if it is greater than the permissible value of shear stress, then failure occurs. Remember, it is most important. Failure occurs, then we need to change the dimension of key. Right now we need to change the dimension of key and again check the value of tau. Okay, if the failure occurs, then what we do next? Putting the value of the permissible shear stress here. Just I discuss it with a short example. If we have the value of T is something 100 Newton meter, and if mm, and if the length is given, because we have a diameter D, so from 3.5 into D by 2, this equation we have value of length. Suppose this is of about 50 mm. And if we use the rectangular key, then this is of about d by 4. So it is, if we have the diameter like 20 or other, so this is about 8, and also these have some time of value like you can say any letter here. And 1 second, it is the check for the length. Okay, so maximum length will be adopted. So W is known, D is known, we check the length here. Okay, or we can check the diameter of the shaft also by putting this value. Okay, so this situation is applied where if the failure occurs. So it can already it will be discussed on a numerical problem. So next one is considering crushing of key. Considering crushing of a key. So that is means sigma c introduced here. So the torque transfer is given by small l into t by 2 into sigma c into d by 2. From this equation we have t in the question, okay, given, or if the not given, then we have also the known value of power, okay, and say 20 kilowatt or other. So from the equation of 60 into p by 2 by n, we find the t, okay, and all the value are easily known. So find sigma c, and also have also criteria. If it is the induced value of the crushing stress is higher than the permissible value, then also failure occurs. Then need to check the dimension of key or shaft. Okay, so this is a complete detail about the slip and muff coupling. One more thing is that why we take the key into two parts. Why? So I'm telling you here. The depth most important sentence is here. The depth of the keyway in each shaft should be exactly same as of the diameter. In shaft should be exactly same as of the diameter of shaft. Okay, and if this condition are not satisfied, the depth of keyway in each shaft should be exactly same as of the diameter of sleeve or the other shaft. Okay, and if these conditions are not satisfied, then key will be bedded. This is a defects, okay, or some kind of failure. So key will be bedded on one shaft, and it will be loose in other. So once if the depth like this is like a keyway, and this is the depth, so it is also about p by 2, that is the half of the thickness, and this is exactly same for both the shaft or for the slip. And if these criteria are not matched, then the key will be bedded on one shaft, or you can say much more tight on that shaft, which affects the shaft. Okay, and to the other shaft it will be loose. Okay, so because if we have a single key which joins both the shaft, which connects both the shaft, then it will suffer this kind of failures, that is bedded on the one side and the loose on the other side. So because to prevent this, we have to necessary to make the key into two parts. To prevent this, it is necessary to make the key into two parts. Okay, so that is the reason for designing the key into two separate parts. So this is the complete detail about the slip and muff coupling, and shortly detail about the coupling. and I think you all will be really enjoyed and you learn something from here. So please like my video and please subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you again.